While studying the PMBOK, I found myself getting comfortable with its principles and performance domains. Then came an important update, the release of the PMBOK 8th edition. And naturally, the question that came to my mind was, do I need to relearn project management? Or is this simply an evolution of what already exists? If you're preparing for the PMP exam, this is a critical question, because understanding what has actually changed and what remains the same can save you both time and confusion. So I took a closer look at both editions, compared them side by side, and focused on what truly matters. In the next few minutes, I'll walk you through the key differences between the PMBOK 7th and 8th editions in a clear and practical way. Before I get into the comparison, let me quickly remind you what the PMBOK actually is. The project management body of knowledge is published by PMI, the Project Management Institute, and it's one of the most globally recognized standards for managing projects. When I first started studying, I used the 6th edition, which was all about rigid processes and step-by-step procedures. Then came the 7th edition, and honestly, it felt like a completely different book. It moved away from processes and introduced principles and performance domains. Now the 8th edition has arrived, and instead of flipping everything upside down again, it builds on what the 7th started, but makes it more practical and applicable. The first difference I noticed when I opened the 8th edition was the terminology around project stages. In the 7th edition, PMI had already stepped back from the traditional 5 process groups, but they were still referenced as a familiar framework: initiating, planning, executing, monitoring and controlling, closing. When I opened the 8th edition, I saw those same stages, but now PMI calls them focus groups instead of process groups. Now I want to be honest with you, the work hasn't changed. Projects still move through the same life cycle from start to finish. But the word focus groups signals something intentional. It's about where your attention should be, not just which phase you're in. It feels less mechanical and more strategic. This is one of the bigger conceptual shifts between the two editions, and I found it really interesting to compare. In the 7th edition, PMI introduced 8 performance domains, replacing the 10 knowledge areas from the 6th edition. Those domains were stakeholders, team, development approach and lifecycle, planning, project work, delivery, measurement, uncertainty. When I studied the 8th edition, I noticed PMI has refined these performance domains further. The focus is now even more on outcomes and real-world application rather than theoretical categories. The big difference I felt? The 7th edition told me what good project management looks like. The 8th edition tells me how to actually do it in different environments, whether I'm running an agile sprint or a traditional waterfall project. Here's one change that genuinely surprised me. In the 7th edition, project integration management was still an underlying concept. It covered creating the project charter, developing the project management plan, coordinating all the moving parts. In the 8th edition, this entire concept is reframed as project governance. At first I thought, isn't that just a fancy rename? But when I dug deeper, I understood why. Governance isn't just about managing the project internally. It's about how the project aligns with the organization's leadership, strategic goals, and decision-making structures. In today's world, I'm not just managing tasks, I'm operating inside a larger system. And PMI is acknowledging that in the 8th edition in a way the 7th edition didn't fully capture. Let me talk about a few more areas where I saw notable differences. Communication management. In the 7th edition, stakeholder engagement and communication were treated as separate performance domains. In the 8th edition, communication is now integrated directly into stakeholder management. Honestly, that makes a lot of sense to me. Almost every conversation I have on a project is about keeping someone informed, aligned, or on board. Merging these two areas reflects how project communication actually works in practice. In the 7th edition, procurement had its own dedicated section with detailed processes for planning, conducting, and control. In the 8th edition, this is simplified and brought under something called sourcing strategy. It covers working with vendors, managing contracts, acquiring external resources. The activities are the same. I still need to manage contracts and vendors, but the 8th edition groups them more cleanly and cuts out the redundancy I felt in some earlier procurement steps. This is probably the most exciting difference I found between the two editions. In the 7th edition, there was no meaningful discussion of AI or automation. The focus was on human-driven principles and tailoring project approaches. In the 8th edition, PMI directly acknowledges artificial intelligence as a tool for project managers. We're talking about machine learning for pattern recognition in project data, AI-based automation for repetitive project tasks, generative AI tools for writing summaries, drafting communications, or analyzing risks. And I'll be honest, this resonated with me immediately. I already use AI tools to help me summarize meeting notes and flag schedule risks. The fact that PMI is officially recognizing this in the 8th edition means the profession is catching up with reality. The 7th edition prepared me to think like a project manager. The 8th edition acknowledges the tools I actually have at my disposal. Here's a very practical difference that I noticed right away. The 7th edition moved away from the 49 process model of the 6th edition and took a more principle-based approach, meaning it didn't enumerate processes the same rigid way. The 8th edition brings back a cleaner process structure, but with approximately 40 processes instead of 49. What happened to the missing ones? They were merged. For example, several scheduling-related steps that used to be separate processes are now combined into a single develop schedule process. The bottom line? I'm doing the same amount of work. I'm just following a leaner, less repetitive framework. And honestly, that's a win for anyone preparing for the PMP exam. So here's how I'd summarize everything I learned from comparing both editions. The 7th edition focuses more on how to think about project management. It talks about principles and ways of working. The 8th edition shifts to how to actually apply those ideas in real projects. Earlier we had process groups. Now it's focus groups, more flexible and practical. Performance domains are still there, but in the 8th edition, they're more refined and clearer. Integration management in the 7th becomes project governance in the 8th, meaning more focus on decision-making and control. Communication was separate before, but now it's combined with stakeholder management. Procurement used to be a full section. Now it's simplified into sourcing strategy. AI wasn't really discussed earlier, but now it's clearly included. And finally, processes. The 7th edition didn't fix a number, but the 8th edition brings in around 40 streamlined processes. In short, 7th edition is about understanding, 8th edition is about doing. And through both editions, one truth stays constant. Good project management is still about planning well, communicating clearly, and delivering real value to the people who matter. If you're preparing for the PMP, don't panic about the change. Understand why each shift happened, and you'll be ahead of most candidates. If you find this video helpful, then don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to StarAgile. I will see you in the next one.